Let us explore how to let go of 90% of your excess belongings in just 1 week. Not by forcing yourself, but by creating a new sense of breath for your home and for you. If you have ever felt suffocated the moment you walk through the door, lost amidst cluttered surfaces, overstuffed drawers, and decisions that have been postponed for months, then this is a gentle invitation. We do not need more space. We need fewer things so that our space can breathe. Imagine tomorrow morning, your kitchen counter is as still as the surface of a lake. Your favorite mug is waiting for you right in its place. Your keys are no longer playing hide and seek, and you begin your day by living, not just cleaning up. Tonight, I will walk you through 10 principles of Japanese minimalism, small yet sharp steps that help you cut the invisible strings tying up your time, energy, and focus. These are not cold slogans telling you to throw everything away, but rather an entire art of choosing, from listening to your body as you touch an item to sorting everything to see the truth, moving from the easy to the difficult so you do not get overwhelmed, to folding your clothes vertically to give your eyes a rest, and giving every single object its own home so you never have to search again. Every step is a choice for peace, and every decision will open up a precious space for the things you truly love. If you are tired from being busy, confused by the clutter, or feel stuck among endless choices right now, consider this introduction a small promise. After this video, you will have a clear, warm, and practical roadmap to transform your house into a sanctuary instead of a storage unit. Do not expect a miracle, but believe in a slow, profound change, like the light spreading through a paper screen door. Now, let us begin with the first habit, and little by little, bring life back to a state of order, brightness, and enough open space for peace to visit every day. Rule number 1, change the can't let go mindset. Have you ever stood frozen in front of your closet, touching a shirt you have never worn, weighed down by that familiar voice? I will wear it someday. What if I need it? In the hurried pace of life, we often bring the past home with us. A gift that was not to our taste, but we fear offending the giver. A ball of yarn from a passion that has since cooled. A book purchased for an idealized version of ourselves. Gradually, the home becomes as heavy as a warehouse of memories, making the space feel suffocating, the body tired, and the mind cluttered. Today, we are not throwing away as a form of punishment, but rather disentangling to rediscover a sense of lightness. And the very first door to open is the one to a new mindset. The KonMari philosophy arrives as a gentle reminder. The value of an object does not lie in how long we keep it, but in whether it has fulfilled its mission. A gift has already completed its role the moment it was given, carrying with it affection and care. Holding on to it out of guilt only prolongs an unnecessary tie between gratitude and a sense of obligation. Try placing your hand on the item, take a deep breath, and silently thank it. Thank you for bringing me joy on that day. When this ritual is complete, your heart will be free. As for Danshari, the character Ri, to separate, teaches us to let go of the fear of scarcity and the desire to hoard things just for tomorrow. When we stop clinging, we realize that we are already whole in the present moment. Some things we hold on to, not because we need them, but because they represent a person we once wished to become. The painting kit sitting quietly in the corner reflects an unfinished dream, but our true selves do not reside in objects. They reside in the experiences we have lived and the choices we are about to make. When you separate the object from your self-image, you are not erasing the past. You are clearing the way for a new focus. Many people delay decluttering because every time they look at the pile, they hear a whisper of disappointment. I never used this. What a waste. That procrastination is not because you are lazy. It is because the room is filled with unnecessary, negative reminders. Practice having an honest dialogue with yourself. When you pick up an item, do not ask, "Will I need this?" That question is always aimed at the future and only feeds fear. Instead, ask, "Have I used this at all in the past year? If I needed it tomorrow, would I remember I have it, or would I go buy a new one? Does this item truly support my life right now? If the answer is no, you have a clear signal. KonMari encapsulates this dialogue with the most profound question. Does it spark joy? The feeling of joy here is not a fleeting excitement, but a gentle, serene pleasure. If the thing you are holding only brings up feelings of regret over money, spent, guilt, or heaviness, that is not joy. That is the anchor holding you back. Danshari offers a solid trio. Dan, to refuse, helps you block items that risk becoming a burden right from the start. Sha, to discard, encourages you to peacefully let go of things that no longer fit. And Rai, to separate, liberates you from the desire to accumulate and from defining yourself through your possessions. For sentimental items, do not declutter with denial. Do it as a ritual. Choose a small memory box and keep only a few items that truly represent a chapter of your life. When a limit is set, the heart learns to choose, and the house learns to breathe. The final feeling is not loud at all, but as light as when you finally close the dozens of browser tabs that have been open in your mind for months. The energy that was once leaking away suddenly returns. You feel yourself standing taller, seeing everything more clearly. A small ritual, saying thank you before letting go, will dissolve the guilt, leaving only pure gratitude. Gratitude for the items that have served you, and gratitude for yourself for having the courage to choose. When the room begins to reflect the person you are today, instead of the person you were, you will find that life becomes simpler too. Shifting the "I cannot let it go" mindset is not a cold cut, but a warm journey home, a return to what truly nourishes you today. Rule number 2, focus on the benefits of letting go. Let us begin with a completely ordinary morning. You wake up before the alarm rings, walk into a kitchen with a clear countertop, a clean kettle, and your favorite mug waiting in its familiar spot. There is no more digging through a pile of miscellaneous items to find a spoon, no more frustration, because something that should be right here has vanished. When the space is bright and quiet, you notice your body relaxing, your breath deepening, and your thoughts slowing down. Letting go does not just make the room more beautiful, it gives you back these small, complete moments of everyday life, a rhythm that is calm and seamless. And when the benefits are felt so clearly, tidying is no longer a dry obligation, but becomes a choice to protect your own peace. KonMari calls this letting your home reflect your ideal life, keeping only what makes your heart smile. When surfaces become clear, the energy in the room seems to change. Light has room to shine on the objects that are loved, and your line of sight is no longer obstructed by excess. You see more clearly what you truly treasure, and because of that, you use those things more often. Meanwhile, Danshari emphasizes clarity of mind. The less visual noise there is, the less distracted the mind becomes, making it easier to truly rest. The image of a minimalist Japanese space is not just for decoration. It is an architecture built for tranquility. When your eyes are no longer pulled in dozens of different directions by trivial things, you will have the chance to focus on the one thing that truly matters. The first benefit you will feel is the sense of control returning to your hands. Before, you might have had to walk around small obstacles, a stack of papers, a drawer that would not close, and trade a little bit of your patience for it each day. Letting go puts an end to these tiny thefts of your energy. You will feel your shoulders relax a notch when you walk into a tidy room, not because it is beautiful, but because your brain no longer has to strain to process all the extra signals. When KonMari says, "Change your life by tidying up," it is not a slogan. It is a natural reflex. When the path is clear, your actions also become more fluid. Next is a benefit that everyone craves in this busy era: time. Time often evaporates quietly when the house is cluttered. 10 minutes looking for keys, 5 minutes finding a charger, 7 minutes clearing the counter before you can even start cooking. Each task seems small, but together they can take up hours every week. Letting go does not just save you the effort of cleaning, it also eliminates the life cycle cost of your belongings, wiping them down, maintaining them, repairing them. When you walk into the kitchen with a sharp knife, a clean cutting board, and spices within reach, dinner gets prepared faster and tastes better. 30 minutes saved each day can turn into a longer conversation at the dinner table, or simply a cup of tea enjoyed to the fullest. Another, more subtle but profound benefit is the quality of your focus. A tidy home does not turn you into a different person overnight, but it does change the environment where good habits are nurtured. When everything has its place, the brain learns to trust its living space. This trust frees up mental capacity, allowing you to focus on more meaningful work. KonMari's small ritual, returning an item to its home after use, is like a vote you cast for the responsible person within yourself. Similarly, reducing the number of just-in-case items, as Danshari suggests, is a practice in sufficiency. You shop less on impulse, you hoard less out of fear, And as a result, you lessen the burden of having to care for your possessions. Remember, letting go is not about severing emotions, but about changing how you connect with them. When you no longer fear loss, you begin to see the beauty in what remains. A sparse bookshelf is not a sign of lack. It is an invitation to reread the books you truly love. A wardrobe with fewer clothes is not a sign of austerity. It is clarity of style, allowing you to put on confidence each morning instead of indecision. Letting go, after all, does not take anything away. It only gives you back your time, your serenity, and the right to live fully in the present moment. Rule number 3. Declutter by category, not by room. Do not start with the living room or the bedroom. Start with the truth. And the truth reveals itself when you gather every single item from the same category into one place. The first time they do this, many people are stunned. Clothes from the main closet, from behind the door, from boxes under the bed, and even a few forgotten bags. All of it suddenly comes together to form a mountain. This visual shock is a powerful wake-up call. We do not just have a few shirts like we thought. We have a habit of accumulating, cleverly hidden in many different places. When you see the full picture, your standards suddenly become clearer and more decisive. You are no longer tidying by putting out fires in each room. You are resetting your relationship with your belongings according to a single, unified order. KonMari calls this a ritual, gathering an entire category, starting with clothes, into a pile large enough for your heart to recognize that it is time for a change. This overwhelming feeling is not meant to punish you, but to awaken you. When every shirt is placed next to each other, the truth comes out. 3 blouses in nearly identical colors, 2 jackets with the price tag still on, and countless items you once liked, but that never truly belonged to you. Danshari adds to this with the spirit of separation. Confronting the total quantity helps you break the thought pattern of just one more will not hurt, because you have now seen how just one can multiply into an entire mountain. Start with the categories you have the least emotional attachment to in order to build your confidence. A tidy drawer of linens or a neat kitchen cabinet are small victories, but they are enough to give you energy for the more difficult decisions ahead. KonMari's classic sequence is not random. Start with clothes, then move on to books, papers, then kimono, miscellaneous items like kitchenware, cleaning supplies, and electronics, and only at the very end, sentimental items. This process is like training a selection muscle. You begin with a lightweight to get used to it, then gradually increase the difficulty as you become stronger. When you get to kimono, do not try to tackle it all at once. Break it down into smaller groups. Cooking tools, then cleaning supplies, then cables and electronics. Completing each small group will give you a sense of accomplishment every step of the way. The biggest challenge is often not the volume of things, but the fatigue that comes from making so many decisions. Gathering items from all over also requires a great deal of effort. Many people feel exhausted when they try to do everything in one go. Therefore, divide your time into small but focused blocks. 1 hour for shirts, 1 hour for pants, 1 hour for accessories. Commit to completely finishing one category before moving on to the next. This will help your decisions become consistent and effective, preventing the problem of clutter, simply moving from one room to another instead of actually leaving your home. You will notice a clear difference in your mood when you follow this method. Gone is the feeling of, I have been cleaning all day, but the house is still a mess, because every time you complete a category, you know that you are truly done with it. From there, your standards also become unified. Instead of keeping a shirt because it is still pretty new, while getting rid of a similar one because it is a little tight, you will apply the same metric to everything: joy, usefulness, and suitability for your current life. Your house will begin to speak the same language, and you will no longer have to exhaust yourself translating the chaos. By the time you face your sentimental items, you are a different person. The small victories from before have taught you how to listen to your body. You will know how to choose a memory box that is small enough to hold only the most essential treasures, yet large enough that your feelings are not suppressed. Tidying by category does not just clean your space. It establishes a firm boundary around the habit of accumulating. When the full picture is laid bare and each layer is peeled away, you will reach the most profound benefit. An internal standard has been formed, quiet but durable, so that from now on, everything that enters your life must pass through the gate of mindfulness. Rule number 4, follow a sequence from easy to difficult. There is a small secret that makes the journey of tidying much lighter. Do not try to climb to the mountaintop on your very first step. Start on the gentle slopes, where you can warm up and keep your breathing steady. Following a sequence from easy to difficult is not just a psychological trick. It is a smart way to build your selection muscle, the mental strength that will help you get through the toughest decisions later on. KonMari has laid out a logical path. Begin with clothes, then move on to books, papers, kimono, miscellaneous items, and finally, sentimental items. When you move at the right pace, you will not be overwhelmed by emotions. You will move forward with a steady resolve. Imagine one afternoon, you open your closet. This is the area with the lowest emotional risk. A faded t-shirt, a pair of unused socks, a shirt worn only once for a long-ago job interview. You can practice asking the question, does it spark joy, in a safe space, where the answer is less influenced by emotional attachments. When a few piles of clothes are neatly folded and empty spaces appear on the hangers, you not only see tidiness, but you also feel your own accomplishment. That moment is incredibly important. It provides proof of your success, helping your confidence to gradually take shape. From clothes, you move on to books. The goal is not to display your knowledge, but to have an honest dialogue with your own needs. The books will find their rightful place when you ask yourself, does this truly support what I am pursuing right now? The guilt from unread books will no longer be a reason to keep them, but will instead become a lesson for future purchases. Next come the papers, where you practice making quick decisions. Bills, warranty cards, old contracts. Here, the principle of discarding comes into play. Anything that has expired, has been digitized, or no longer has legal value will gently be let go. Each file of papers that is downsized is one less piece of visual noise. Then there is kimono, the vast territory of items you might need. Charging cables, spices, miscellaneous tools. If you try to tackle it all at once, you will be exhausted. So, breaking it down is key. Dedicate one session to kitchenware, one to cleaning supplies, one to electronics. Each time you complete a small group, you have another clear victory. An interesting effect will emerge. A tidy space invites tidy behavior. You will automatically put things back in their proper place simply because there is a place for them. This newfound trust in order will make the next decisions even easier. But the true destination of this sequence is another afternoon when you sit before a box of sentimental items. This is the emotional mountaintop where the question, keep or toss, can make your heart ache. So change the question. Not, can I throw this away? But, what is the best way to honor this memory? When you shift from a sense of obligation to one of appreciation, you open up more options. Take a photo and save it in a digital album. Choose a single item to represent an entire period of your life. Or write a few lines of gratitude before closing an old chapter. One representative object, placed in a place of honor, can hold the full meaning without taking up the space of the present. Following this sequence does not mean you will not get tired. It just means that the tiredness will have an outlet. Work in short bursts, about 45, 60 minutes, and finish neatly within a defined scope. This will protect you from burnout. Going from easy to difficult is like teaching your heart a lesson in trust. Trust in your ability to make decisions. And trust that once you know how to lift a light weight with the proper technique, you will have the strength to handle the heavier ones without hurting yourself. When you look back on the journey you have traveled, with all its small victories, the emotional mountaintop no longer seems so daunting. It becomes a place from which you can cast your gaze and see the future home that awaits you. Rule number 5. Keep only items that spark joy. There is a small experiment you can try right now. Close your eyes, reach into a drawer, take out any item, and hold it to your chest. Do not think too much. Just listen to your body. Does the object in your hands make your shoulders feel lighter, or do they slump? Does your chest feel open, or does it tighten? In that quiet moment, you might feel a very subtle signal, like a current of warmth, that is the feeling of sparking joy. KonMari gives this feeling a name with a simple yet profound question. Does it spark joy? When you live among items that bring you that warm feeling, your home not only becomes tidier, but it also becomes a place where every daily touch carries a sense of gentleness. Joy is not just found in memories. It also exists in function. A ceramic mug that fits perfectly in your hands can make your morning coffee taste better, like a greeting to the new day. A sharp kitchen knife helps you feel in control and creative in the kitchen. A book with a worn spine that, every time you touch it, opens up an entire world, or a pair of jeans that fits just right and makes you feel more confident. Sparking joy can be a feeling of warmth, inspiration, peace, or simply flow. The sense that everything fits perfectly with the person you are right now. When you look at everything through this lens, the soulless objects will automatically fade away, making room for the things that truly belong to you to shine. However, this journey is often met with emotional obstacles. It could be an expensive item bought on impulse, now sitting there like a silent reproach. A gift you keep because you are afraid of hurting the giver's feelings, or a relic of an idealized self you once aspired to be, the baking set, the watercolor paints that have not been used for ages. The stories we tell ourselves, I should use it, I have to keep it, have unintentionally become the strings that bind us. KonMari invites us to change our perspective. The joy of a gift was in the moment it was given. The money spent was the tuition for a lesson in making better choices, and your true self lies in the habits you have today, not in the props from a role you no longer play. To overcome this reasoning, practice with your body. Do not argue with your mind. Hold each item, take a slow breath, and ask your body, is the feeling warm, light, open, or cold, heavy, constricted? The body's reaction often comes very quickly, before the rational mind can interject with, but it was expensive, or but it was a gift. Your job is to trust that first physical sensation. If you are still unsure, place 2 similar items side by side, 2 scarves, 2 jackets, and let your body choose one. Give the feeling a name. This one makes me feel comfortable. The other one makes me withdraw into myself. As you train this joy meter on the easier categories, your intuition will become sharper and sharper. And do not forget the final ritual. For the items that no longer spark joy, take a moment to thank them for the role they have played. This thank you is not just a formality. It is a bridge that helps the item leave your home without leaving behind any guilt. For sentimental items, give them a small memory box, keeping only a few representative objects so that the emotions are concentrated and the present has room to breathe. Every time you choose a representative item, you are distilling and preserving its meaning. As your home is gradually purified through the spark joy filter, you will notice a profound change. Your time and attention become more precious. You no longer waste energy on things that feel lifeless, but instead devote it to what brings you inspiration. Every clear surface becomes an invitation to slow down. Every chosen object becomes a touchstone for daily joy. Keeping only what sparks joy is not a vague philosophy. It is a life operating system where every interaction is optimized for peace. And then one morning, as you hold your familiar mug, you will know you are in the right place, in a world with fewer things, but where life itself is so much fuller. Rule number 6, fold and store vertically. A rushed morning often begins with a very small moment. You pull open your t-shirt drawer, your hand skims across a thick stack of fabric, trying to find the right shirt for the day. And in just a few seconds, the drawer turns into a chaotic mess. The frustration does not come from a lack of clothes, but from your inability to see them. When items are stacked on top of each other, only the top layer gets any attention. The rest sinks into oblivion. KonMari suggests a gentle yet effective change. Let each item stand up straight, like files in a cabinet. Folding vertically is about giving each shirt and each pair of pants its own private space, so that when you open the drawer, your eyes are greeted by a clear order, and your hand can grab exactly what you want without disturbing everything else. Begin by feeling the material in your hands. Lay a shirt flat, smooth out the creases, then fold it in half lengthwise, and then into thirds or fourths to create a small, compact rectangle that can stand up. The moment you see it actually standing firm, a small block of fabric leaning against the others like little books, you will find yourself smiling without even realizing it. In the same amount of space, you can now see everything you own. No more digging to find your favorite shirt buried at the bottom. When everything is visible, your brain gets to rest. You no longer have to guess, you just have to choose. This neatness is not just visually pleasing, it is also incredibly practical. When folded vertically, air circulates better between the layers of fabric, which helps reduce wrinkles and maintain the shape of your clothes better. A once cramped drawer suddenly feels more spacious because the space is being used intelligently. Danshari calls this a form of respectful minimalism, adopting a system simple enough that you can maintain it every day. Each time you pull open the drawer, what you receive is not just an item, but also a feeling of gentle control and an invitation to start your day smoothly. Many people worry that folding vertically will take more time, but the reality is the opposite. You might spend a little more time up front, but you will save so much time on tidying up later. Folding the traditional way is like writing a paragraph with no punctuation. It is fast at first, but very difficult to read later. Vertical folding is like putting the punctuation in the right places, so that tomorrow you only need a single glance to understand everything. Try it with 10T. Shirts tonight? Tomorrow morning, when you can pull one out without messing up the others, you will feel the difference. KonMari emphasizes that folding with both hands is a ritual of care. When you touch, smooth, and fold, you are sending a message of thanks to the item for having served you. This attitude will spread to how you use and care for everything you own. Danshari adds that when you fold vertically and see everything clearly, the items that no longer fit will reveal themselves. They can no longer hide at the bottom of the drawer, and you will naturally want to let them go, because the new order does not tolerate clutter. If you are worried you cannot maintain this habit, remember that the method itself holds the answer. Vertical folding does not demand perfection. It just provides clear stopping points. When the shirt has become a rectangle, stop. When you have placed it in its spot, stop. These small stopping points prevent order from sliding back into chaos. And if a busy day leaves things in disarray, do not blame yourself. Just taking 5 minutes to tidy up one drawer is enough. When all the items in your home begin to stand up, you will notice subtle changes. The time it takes to get ready in the morning shortens, and your decisions become more decisive. Folding and storing vertically in the end is not just an organizing technique. It is a lesson in how to give the things you love a place of honor, so they are always visible, ready, and reminding you to live a life that is both tidy and warm. Rule number 7, assign a fixed place for every item. You have surely experienced this before. One hand is holding your bag, while the other is frantically searching because the keys have vanished. Your heart beats faster. A wave of frustration washes over you, and a normal morning is suddenly thrown off course. That tiny moment reveals a greater truth. The problem is not the keys themselves, but the fact that they do not have a home. When every item is given a clear place to belong, the house operates as smoothly as a piece of music. But when things are left to wander, our lives fall out of rhythm too. The question to begin with is very simple. Where is the most logical place to use and store this item? Spoons and chopsticks near the stove. Reading glasses right next to the chair where you always sit. Your phone charger next to the outlet where you usually put your phone down each night. KonMari sees this as the moment to redesign the flow of your life. Every item that stays needs a specific, easy-to-see and easy-to-reach location. Danshari adds a principle that makes the home more relaxing. Only fill about 70% of your space, leaving the other 30% as room to breathe. When a drawer has enough space, taking things out and putting them away becomes a smooth, effortless motion. You will feel the positive effects immediately when everything has a home. Your arm no longer has to fumble around searching, it knows the way home. The time you spent looking for things each morning is returned to you. Money is no longer wasted on "lost it, so I bought it again" items, and a layer of low-grade stress that was always simmering in the background begins to dissolve. When your belongings stay in their proper places, your living environment itself will support your discipline, without you having to strain and struggle every day. Imagine a reorganized workspace. Pens are in their tray, notebooks are placed neatly, and cables are coiled tidily in a box. When an object's home aligns with your daily habits, neatness becomes an instinct. You do not need to try to remember, because your body will automatically reach out and return the object to where it belongs. Many people worry that assigning a fixed place for everything will make life feel mechanical. But in reality, rigidity is not found in discipline, but in the chaos that forces us to clean up over and over again. Fixed in this context is a flexible commitment, one that can always be adjusted as the rhythm of your life changes. Let these homes be convenient and easy to access. If a certain spot does not feel right, do not blame yourself. Just move that home to the place your hand reaches for most naturally. Once every item has its place, you will discover a wonderfully gentle end-of-day ritual, the reset ritual. Just 5 minutes before bed, you return the book to its shelf, the jacket to its hook, the remote control to its tray. The house is returned to a state of calm, ready to welcome you the next morning. This ritual is not an obligation, but an act of self-care, a way of saying thank you to the day that has just passed. The most beautiful side effect of this practice is that you will gradually come to appreciate what you own even more. When a mug is always in its proper place, you feel its beauty every time you touch it. When your jacket is always hung in the right spot, you realize you wear it often because you truly love it. Appreciation is born from consistency, and it is that very appreciation that will help you use your belongings for a longer, more sustainable time. Ultimately, a designated home does not just store an object, it stores your peace of mind. It gathers all the trivial actions that used to steal your time, searching, rummaging, guessing, into a single simple motion, bringing it home. And in every act of bringing an object home, you are also bringing yourself back to a life of order, a life with enough space to breathe and enough quiet to listen to your own heart. Rule number 8, declutter. Item by item, not the whole room at once. Imagine an evening after work. You are standing at the entrance to your living room, looking at everything that needs to be tidied. A feeling of overwhelm washes over you, and the thought, "I will deal with this on the weekend," pops up again. This feeling is not because you are lazy. It is a natural reaction your brain has to an enormous amount of work. The secret here is not to try harder, but to break it down wisely. Do not tidy the whole room. Start with one item, then another. Each compact decision will be another brick laid on the path to peace. KonMari has already helped us shift our perspective. Instead of going room by room, we gather items by category, and then touch each object as if it were the main character. When all your clothes are gathered, do not force yourself to tackle the entire mountain. Start with a small group. T-shirts first, then button-down shirts. Touch each one, listen to see if it still sparks joy for you, and make a decision for that single shirt alone. Danshari calls this the rhythm of Shah, letting go of each item that no longer fits, like pulling out the rusty nails that are holding your mind back. Instead of getting lost in a vague, overwhelming task, you will move forward with clear, distinct steps. Start with the easiest things to build momentum, items that are broken, expired, or things you have long since forgotten about. They only require a quick, simple decision. A cracked mug, a jar of spices that has lost its scent, a charging cable that no longer works. Let them go first. These small victories are like a mental boost, helping the flow of your decision-making become smoother. Once you have that momentum, dealing with the more in-between items will also become easier. What makes us tired is not the physical effort, but the mental exhaustion our brain feels when faced with hundreds of choices. Therefore, give yourself a time frame. Set a timer for 15 minutes, choose an extremely small area, one drawer, half a bookshelf, and commit to tidying only within that time. When the alarm sounds, stop and admire your accomplishment. A new space has just been opened up. A small corner of your life has become brighter. These short but regular sessions will transform tidying from a huge project into a gentle rhythm of life. To maintain this rhythm, set clear boundaries for each session. Before you begin, say it out loud. 15 minutes for this drawer. During that time, focus only on that one task. If you come across an item that stirs up a lot of emotion, an old postcard, a sentimental gift, temporarily place it in a waiting tray and come back to it later. This way, you are both respecting your feelings and protecting your workflow's momentum. This patience will be rewarded with a very tangible feeling, the sense of control returning to your hands. When you handle one item at a time, you will be able to hear the voice of your intuition instead of the arguments for procrastination. Every item that is kept will have a worthy place. Every item that leaves will be sent off with a word of thanks. You are no longer turning the whole room upside down, only to end up exhausted. Instead, you are taking small but steady steps, like someone who is learning to breathe deeply again. Tidying one item at a time also helps you recognize your own hidden habits. As you review each shirt, you recognize a habit of buying things on sale. As you go through each jar of spices, you see that you tend to buy it to try it more than you use it all up. These realizations are not for self-blame. They are a map to help you make better choices in the future. When you stay faithful to a rhythm of 15 minutes a day, the results will come naturally. A clean drawer, a clear bookshelf. These small pieces gradually create a home that can breathe. More importantly, you have learned a priceless skill: how to face a large task with small, steady, and loving decisions. Peace does not come from a magic spell. It is built with your own two hands as you gently put your life back in its proper place. Rule number 9, declutter a little, but consistently every day. There are days when you have no energy left for a major home overhaul, but there are always those 15 minutes at the end of the day when the kettle is boiling and the yellow light is warm. It is in that brief window of time that a small habit can change your entire life. Tidying up a little, but doing it consistently every day. When a busy schedule makes us procrastinate, the solution is not an exhausting weekend cleaning marathon, but a sustainable, unshowy rhythm. 15 minutes a day will add up to create a massive change, helping your home become lighter and easier to live in. Danshari suggests starting by refusing throughout the day. Refuse to buy another unnecessary item. Refuse to accept a gift you know you will not use. When the inflow is controlled, the discarding becomes much lighter. An expired jar of spices, a broken cable, a dried up pen. These small decisions are like untying the knots, one by one, on a tangled string. KonMari, meanwhile, sees this as the maintenance phase. Each evening, return your items to their homes, bringing a sense of calm back to your countertops. Every small action is a vote cast for order, and when there are enough votes, order will win. To make this habit sustainable, pair it with something you enjoy. Put on some music you love, listen to a chapter of an audiobook, or pour yourself a cup of tea as a reward after your 15 minutes of tidying. Turn it into a ritual, not a punishment. You could take a before and after photo of a small corner, or write a few lines in a journal. Acknowledging these small moments of progress will nurture your motivation, making you want to return to this ritual the next day. The biggest barrier is often the feeling of not having enough time, and overcome it by setting a goal so small you cannot fail. Set a timer for 15 minutes and commit to tidying only an extremely narrow area, half a drawer, one row of books. When you start, finish, and achieve a small victory, you create positive momentum. To reduce decision fatigue, standardize the process. Touch the item, ask yourself, does this serve my life right now? And then choose to keep it or let it go. A small trick to maintain consistency is to attach your tidying habit to an existing, fixed routine in your day. After dinner, before you take a shower, or right after you turn off your computer. When a habit is anchored to a specific moment, the brain will perform it automatically without having to debate it. And if you miss a day, do not try to make up for it. Just come back to it the next day. Consistency does not mean perfection. The power of a habit lies in how quickly you get back up after you stumble. Over time, you will feel a quiet change. Every surface becomes accustomed to being clear. Every drawer remembers how to stand up straight. You will also start to notice your own habits. Shopping because of a sale, hoarding because of anxiety, and you will gradually adjust them with small actions, like applying the one-in, one-out rule, or only filling your storage spaces to 70% to leave room to breathe. Most importantly, these 15 minutes do not just tidy your house, they tidy your mind. When you end your day by returning a book to its shelf and hanging a jacket on its hook, you will hear a very soft click, the sound of a day being closed neatly. The next morning, you wake up in a space that is ready to support you, starting your day by living, not by cleaning up. Every day, you repeat that small ritual, as if you are pouring another drop of silence into the vessel of peace within your soul. Rule number 10. Maintain regularly and cherish the items you keep. A home does not become peaceful after just one big decluttering session. Peace comes from the short, regular conversations between you and your belongings. Imagine a quiet Sunday afternoon. You make a pot of tea and take a slow walk around your home, not to look for messes, but to feel your relationship with the items that remain. When we maintain our living space, we are not just wiping away dust. We are caring for a meaningful collection, a personal exhibition, where every object has its own story and its own role. KonMari suggests a small ritual during maintenance, a word of thanks. Sometimes, it is just a gentle touch, a deep breath. When you say thank you, you are softening the binding ties of ownership. Meanwhile, Danshari speaks of seasonal check-ins as a way to listen to the changing rhythm of your life. Every few months, ask yourself, does this item still serve me? Does it still bring me a feeling of comfort? If the answer is no, you know it is time to give the space back to your home and the freedom back to yourself. Regular maintenance acts like a pressure release valve, preventing clutter from building up again. Let maintenance become a gentle reset, not a burden. 15 minutes is enough. Return items to their homes, wipe the countertops, refold the shirts that have been disturbed. Each motion is an anchor pulling us back to the present moment. Once designated spots have been established, order will maintain itself. If you find an item is constantly being misplaced, do not blame yourself. Move its home to the place your hand naturally reaches for. A good living space always knows how to learn from the person living in it. To cherish something does not mean to keep it forever. Sometimes cherishing it means knowing when to close a chapter. When you replace an old item with a version that better suits the person you are today, you are honoring your own journey of growth. You can choose to keep just one single representative object from a past phase, a photograph, a card, so that the meaning remains, but the room still has space for new light. In a cluttered space, the most precious things are often overshadowed. Regular maintenance is like returning the spotlight to the items you have chosen to keep. When your line of sight is clear, gratitude becomes a natural reflex. You touch an object and immediately receive a warm feeling in return. That is the very substance of everyday happiness. Gratitude is no longer a slogan. It lives inside every repeated daily action. To make maintenance sustainable, build it into the existing rhythm of your life. 5 minutes after dinner to return things home, 15 minutes on the weekend to take a walk around your shelves. You could even write a few lines in a journal. Let go of the cracked mug today, kept the blue bowl because of how comforting it feels each morning. These small notes are the seeds that nurture consistency. Then one day, you will realize your home has changed. Not because there are new things, but because the things that remain are treated with such kindness that they have learned how to shine. You understand that maintenance does not consume your time. It buys you back time by preventing chaos from creeping into your life. And when you sit down, holding a familiar mug in your hands, looking around the room as it breathes steadily, you can smile. I am not living in a pile of stuff. I am living among things that are cherished. It is that very act of cherishing, nurtured by each gentle reset, that will keep your home forever warm and peaceful. And now, allow yourself to sit for a moment in the quiet. Like when the warmth of a teacup still lingers on your hands, your home may have already changed, even if just a little. A clear surface, a drawer with room to breathe, a small corner that has just been brightened. But the most beautiful thing is not the space you can see with your eyes, but the space that has just opened up in your mind. A place where the important things can now enter without needing to knock. Minimalism does not force you to become someone else. It simply builds a bridge to help you return to the rhythm of life you have always longed for, slow, clear, and peaceful. If you wake up tomorrow morning and do just one small thing, return an item to its proper home, silently thank it, and gently close the drawer, consider that a signal that you have chosen to side with tranquility. When this choice is repeated enough times, your home will learn to keep itself tidy, and your heart will also learn to push away the unnecessary noise. Trust in that rhythm, just like the light that passes steadily through the window each morning. Unshowy, but so beautifully persistent. If you would like to continue on this journey together, I will always be here. Please leave a sign to let me know you are here, a like, if you feel your heart has been soothed, a subscribe so we do not miss our next meeting, and a comment telling me which little corner of your home you want to brighten up first. Write as if you are talking to a friend. I will read it, I will reply, and together we will nurture a space wide enough for peace to visit every single day.